Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth Connoisseurs. It's Rod with POW Group, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. It's October 19th, and we're going to do another rapid fire news update, this time for the period October 11th to the 17th. And it's just a high-level overview in case you missed it. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos. I do these videos each and every week. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPOW. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So I'm very excited and pleased to announce that I'll be interviewing for a second time on my channel Erwin Simon, CEO of Tilray Brands. And that's going to be on Wednesday, October 22nd this week. And I have a ton of questions already. Obviously, won't be able to get to all of them. But if you have any specific topics or questions that you would like me to include, please let me know ASAP in the comments, and I'll do my best to include everything. Like I said, we'll just have to have more and more interviews, right? We'll do a third one and a fourth one and a fifth one, and then it'll just keep going. But yeah, we have so many questions, right? You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to ask that many in about 30 minutes, right? So you're not going to be able to do it all. So we'll cherry pick the best ones, and like I said, we can always save it for the next interview as well. And speaking of Tilray, they announced their medical expansion plans in Panama, strengthening their global MJ leadership and accelerating international growth. So there's just been tons of bullish news coming out for Tilray lately, and they also celebrated 7 years of MJ legalization in Canada. It's hard to believe it's been almost that long. Wow, it's pretty surreal feeling, actually. I was thinking about this today. It's like, wow, it's been 7 years. It does not feel that long. And then you got the U.S., who still doesn't even know if it's Schedule 1, Schedule 3. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, number one market-leading position by revenue and pioneering brands with growing market share, the world's largest federally legal MJ market. And yeah, folks, Tilray operates in over 20 countries. They've got the best products, the best brands, the best footprint, the best, in my opinion, everything. Everybody wants to be like Tilray now, and you're starting to see that just from a lot of the like categories that people are getting into, the pre-rolls, and you see drinks becoming huge. And you got Zach's covering Tilray after their Q1 2026 results, saying, should you buy it after their encouraging results? So they had a profitable quarter. So they turned a profit of 1.5 million in Q1. And then if you scroll all the way down, they say that it's rated as a ranked number two buy. So appears well positioned to benefit from both improving operational efficiency and policy-driven optimism surrounding MJ reform under the Trump administration. So looking good. And like I said, all the analysts starting to convert on Tilray now, starting to get bullish because they finally see what we see, right? And a lot of the time, some people just won't see it until they see it in the numbers, right? But as we know, Warren Buffett missed Amazon, Apple, Bitcoin because he couldn't understand the numbers, and that's because they don't understand. They didn't understand the sector. They didn't understand the technology. They didn't understand that subject matter. And if you've been following my channel, and pretty much everybody listening to me, I would wager a bet that you're probably 90 or 95% ahead of most people when it comes to MJ knowledge, right? So we know where this industry is going. We know where this company's going, and Tilray is going to be an absolute juggernaut when it's all said and done. Also, U.S. Congress legislation to end MJ prohibition nationwide and allow expungements now sponsored by lawmakers from 26 states and also in D.C. So we'll see if we get some sort of, kind of, what do we have right now? I think there's the CAOA, there's the MORE Act, there's the States Act. So we'll see if we get it descheduled. We'll see if, it federally gets passed, if it's legalized federally over the next few years. I can't imagine it happening, anytime soon. I still think that they're going to do rescheduling first and then get access to banking, safer banking, and then uplisting to NYSE and the NASDAQ. And then once all the big banks, the Wall Street banks, the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, etc. of the world are positioned, then I think they'll attempt to deschedule it. But I do think that, the MORE Act, it's passed the House a couple of times, and the States Act, States 2.0, have a very high probability of playing out. So we'll see what happens. We know that this current Trump administration also said that they supported states' rights. So we'll keep tabs on that, but I still think they'll take the incremental approach. Also, a study finds that blunt smoking rising sharply among U.S. adults, especially for women and non-drinkers. And I did a video talking about my top 3 products in MJ right now, and also with Tilray. and they have these new blunties, they're called. So they're like the little Redican Reddies, the tube style, straight edge pre-roll ones, the little mini ones. But they come in hemp now, so they have the hemp paper, and they also have the blunt paper. But I was talking to a bud tender the other day in Canacabana, and she said that they're not actual blunt papers. Like most blunt papers are made from tobacco, right? And then you can like get flavoring and stuff like that. But with Tilray, apparently it's all made from hemp, and they use like different types of terpenes and whatnot to make it taste like tobacco. But you're not actually smoking tobacco leaf or a blunt. So it's pretty awesome. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And go figure, it's coming from Tilray. I wouldn't expect anything less. The best of the best. So if you haven't tried the blunties, you absolutely have to. Also, Trump drug czar pick dodges MJ questions from senators, and not surprising, right? And everybody's look at this picture too. That's just absolutely beautiful. Like, why are they dodging the questions, right? It's because, in my opinion, they're not ready to pump the ever-loving hell out of it, right? They're still working on crypto legislation and AI, and once blockchain and crypto and AI kind of take a back seat, then I think they're going to they'll basically do a pivot over to MJ policy, right? And it's just a waiting game at this point. But watch, once the media gets activated, once they all activate, it'll be on every main page on every news website, and they'll be doing interviews after interviews, and you'll be doing segments on CNBC, and they'll just be pumping it like they used to back in 2017 and 2018 when Canada legalized, right? It's going to be even more than that, right? It'll be on steroids because it's the U.S., right? The biggest economy in the world, biggest capital markets in the world. It's going to be massive. Also, AYR Wellness announces commencement of restructuring support agreement, Article 9 proceedings. They continue to work cooperatively with the senior note holders and its stakeholders in furtherance of the RSA. And there's the auction here. So the public auction is scheduled to occur on November 10th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So we'll see what happens with regards to these assets, and might even be a question for Tilray in the interview here come Wednesday. And I should have it live either Wednesday night or Thursday, more than likely. It's not going to be a live stream. It's only going to be 30 minutes, so I don't, if I go on a live stream, it's, you're pretty much guaranteed to be at an hour plus. So maybe we can do a live stream in the future, but yeah, we'll see. Let me know if you think I should include that question, if Tilray would be interested in any of the assets there of AYR at their auction. Also, DeSantis, Ron DeClown, more popularly known as, admits MJ legalization is popular with Florida voters, even though he opposes it. So basically, he says, I hate you, Florida people, right? I hate you, Floridians, what do you call them? I hate the American people, right? I'm here to serve them. I know it's popular. I know a lot of people want it, but I don't agree with it, okay? So that's fine, but you can agree with things, and like if the majority speak, right? Like I'm going through the process of winding up a corporation and selling a whole condominium corporation. And, there's I think there was maybe 9 or 10% of people that didn't vote. 81% voted yes to sell the building. And then 9% of people don't want to sell at all. And they're so stupid. It's why? And some of the people that don't want to sell used to be on the board, and they were removed from the board because they were holding this information and trying to prevent the building from being sold, all because 9% of people didn't want it. And it's no, that's not how the world works. 81% and then 9% of people didn't vote. So you're in the 80 to 90% of people that live in a condo corporation that want to sell the building, and these and the 9% of people think we're the idiots, and then DeSantis, majority of people in the U.S., what is it, 80 or 90% of people think, percent of people in general think it should be, from a medical standpoint, but, think in some form of another it should be legalized. Well, if that's the case, and Florida, the majority there, why are you standing in the way of it, right? You can have your own opinions. You might not agree with it, but the people have spoken, and you are there. You're paid for by the people. You're there to represent the people, and the people have spoken. So hopefully he gets out of his own way, gets out of our way, and do what you're supposed to do and represent the people. And if it's popular, if majority of people want it, then get the hell out of the way. It's that simple. Also, MJ Company Glasshouse Brands listed on Robinhood trading app. So this could be a huge monumental shift with regards to MJ companies on major exchanges, and kind of front running the NASDAQs and the NYSEs of the world. But a lot of people thought that this was bullish news. I agree it is, but the stock didn't really jump in terms of price. So again, this kind of goes back to the fact that I've been saying for a while now that we need some sort of reform in the US. There's really not, or like, if there was excise tax reform in Canada, okay, but that's not going to, in my opinion, that'll be good for the Canadian LPs, but it's not going to turn the whole sector around. But if we get reform in the US, if we get Schedule 3, right, or safer banking, uplisting the NYSE and the NASDAQ, but, Schedule 3 or full-blown descheduling, everything's going to pop off, right? It doesn't matter if you're Canadian, if you're from overseas, if you're an American company, you're going to be, it'll be a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And that'll be the biggest tide and catalyst. So I still think that we need either reform in form of rescheduling or complete descheduling. And I do think that rescheduling is the most likely scenario. Then they'll do the safer banking. It'll be easier to get that over the finish line. But I still think that rescheduling is the most likely scenario, and we need something concrete. We need an executive order that I think would do it. If we get an executive order saying that they're going to reschedule it, I think that's pretty much as concrete as we would need. And then when it actually gets rescheduled, well, then it's going to take a few quarters for the bottom lines to reflect that, right? So for this, for those tax lines that aren't being accounted for anymore, well, that's obviously more money on the books, on the bottom line for these operators. So once you start to see what that looks like over the course of a couple of quarters, like I said, it's going to create, people will see the numbers, like I said, right? It's those people that are numbers people, value investors. Well, how can you value a company, right? If you're looking at the numbers, well, you don't really know what the bottom line potential is because there's still 280E, right? So again, and most people don't even know that. There's some people who are starting like MJ businesses, and they don't even know that there's the 280E tax code, punitive tax code. So it just goes to show you, right? Like some people are starting businesses in this industry and still don't know about it, right? I think there's going to be, it's once 280E goes away, then it's going to be a long tail. Like you're going to see so many catalysts come, and it'll just get better and better and better because it's going to take some time for it to roll out. But like I said, that concrete piece of it would be an executive order, in my opinion. Also, Europe's first ever whole plant MJ medicine could be available by 2026 in major step forward for non-opioid pain treatment. Folks, I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical company. They were involved in the opioid crisis. They were fined billions of dollars, and for 2 years straight, like around 2018, I think it was, 2018, 2019, for like 2 years straight, all they could talk about was CBD and basically cannabinoid-based medicine. And that's not a coincidence. They know the opioids are way more profitable, but they have a lot of bad effects, side effects, right? And they kill people, and they get people addicted to it. So lots of negatives. But the great positive is they were very lucrative, right? They made a lot of money off them, but then they also got fined a lot of money. And now they're pivoting over to medicine of the future, which they've always known. It's not going to get them, it's probably not going to make them as much money, and that they're greedy SOBs, right? So now that they've been fined, now that the pharmaceutical industry is basically up in arms, they know that they can't put this to bed, right? It's the train's left the station, so they have to hop on. It's either get on or get out of the way. And pharmaceutical companies are probably some of the greediest on the planet. You think they're not going to want to be involved in this? Think again. So medicine of the future really starting to take hold here. Canopy Growth announces results of AGM, and it wasn't great. It was as we expected, though. Canopy Growth shareholders approved the amendment to the articles of the company to, among other things, consolidate the company's issued and outstanding common shares. So I already did a video on this. You can check it out for more details on my thoughts and opinions. But essentially, it was approved. If the board does not do the reverse split or share consolidation within 12 months of the date of the meeting, the authority granted will lapse and will be of no further force of effect. So they'd have to get, after 12 months, if they don't do the reverse split, they would have to get approval again. And with reform potentially on the horizon here in the U.S., they might not need to, but we'll see what happens. Also, Curaleaf upsizes revolving credit facility to $100 million with Needham Bank. So another great move here, and news for Cureleaf. Also, Charlotte's Web expands its Brightside line with launch of Knockout Hemp Psychoactive Component Sleep Gummies. So I haven't tried these. Charlotte's Web, it was Tilray that had the distribution rates for them here in Canada. I've actually never even seen them in any of the stores. I'll have to make a note of that and try them out. But if anybody has tried them, please let me know. Also, Trulieve to report third quarter 2025 results and conference call on November 5th, 2025. And will that be in the morning? Just see here. Yeah, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, following the release of its third quarter financial results. So yeah, the conference call's at 8:30, so the earnings will be out that morning, pre-market. Also, MJ drinks are having a moment even as Americans consume less alcohol, says CBS News. And just imagine once it's available at all these major retailers and events, and you go to a hockey game or a football game, whatever, soccer, and you're going to see that will be the major turning point, right? Right now, it's very difficult to get it, and a lot of people here in Canada. Like I was talking to a person in Canada, it was yesterday. I was in the store 2 days ago or something like that. I was in the Canna retail store, and one person was like, "Oh my God, you can drink it now?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like the drinks have been available for a while now, and like they have their own fridge now, and there's so many options. And then just talking to friends and family, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know there was drinks," and they don't know that there's so many different options and variety now. And it's like, oh man, like this like category is going to absolutely explode. And then speaking of big retailers, MJ drinks are now available at select Minnesota Target stores. So retail giant Target is selling hemp-derived psychoactive component beverages at some of its Minnesota stores. So I'm going to actually ask Tilray if this is something that they are they already supplying Target, or are they going to be, if they have discussions with them. I think that'd be a great question for the interview as well. But just imagine, right? We get Target, and you get all these other, like Walmart, Amazon, and we know that Tilray's partnered with Whole Foods on a lot of different things, which Amazon owns Whole Foods. So there's so much growth coming from this category. It's not even funny. Also, a great article here from MJ Biz Daily. I won't go through it all, but how is artificial intelligence, AI, how it's transforming the MJ industry? And I've done a couple of videos on this as well, but obviously from like cultivation to basically genetics and using it for all this, and then basically combining it with the health industry, right? And using AI to potentially get scientific breakthroughs and whatnot. There's going to be so much opportunity, and they mostly just talk about like data, big data, but also in marketing and advertising, how it's going to really disrupt that, and it's a game changer for that. Marketing in a regulated landscape, AI at retailers. So obviously, kind of basically be like analyzing all the trends, right? Revolutionizing MJ science and personalization, and the future of AI and MJ. And we know that Tilray actually said that it's looking to integrate AI into its operations, and they even talked about, with their massive facilities, maybe they wanted to, allocate some of their facilities to like AI, like an AI data center or something like that. So there's so much opportunity here. It's going to be interesting to see, though, if it kind of disrupts the labor market, if a lot of people are out of jobs. I don't think it necessarily would, but yeah, I think you're going to see more and more of like companies, more and more of this, just overall coverage of companies utilizing AI more in their operations, and also at the like customer facing side of things as well, like in the proof of POS systems, right? The payment system. So, but most of it will be, like I said, just tracking trends and using that data to better promote to consumers. Also, Auxly to present at the Planet Microcap Showcase in Toronto, and that's going to be on Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So looking forward to that. And that's going to be with CEO Hugo Alves. I've interviewed him on the channel a couple of times now. And we'll keep a close eye on that. And if I come across it, I'll share it out. And I've actually tried their new Backpackers product. I'm actually holding it right now. The Fire Breath one. Oh my God. If you haven't tried these in Canada, they're a 10-pack. And there's 0.75 grams in each one. and they are so good. Like they're hemp papers as well. If you haven't tried the new Backpackers, Liquid Imagination is really good too, but Fire Breath is one of their new strains as well. All right, let me know what you think of this news in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you on the next one.